thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
For this. It's brilliant, and an absolute pleasure to meet you, and it's incredible. So obviously Head Sportswear, you're developing your own clothing range with Head, and what was kind of motivation behind the design? Where did you start from in your head with that?
Well, there's certain things that I've liked in ski wear that I wanted to incorporate. Like, I love tight, stretchy pants. Okay. Like, I like bold colors, but no, I'm not really into patterns. Like, there are certain things that I've always really liked in ski wear, but never really seen all together. And I hate the cold, so that was also the number one thing. Like, I want to look as good as possible, but I have to stay warm. Like, if I'm not warm, I'm not happy. No matter how good I look, I'm not going to be happy. So that was kind of the concept or the thought process behind it. And I love the 70s. I love like the vintage kind of retro look.
Oh yeah.
And we just kind of, Roman and I had a very similar vision to what we wanted, and so it's a very like upgraded version of like chic 70s.
Okay. Obviously after you retired, did you think, I want to stay in this industry, I love this industry, and I want to stay in the winter sports industry? Or
I wasn't sure.
Okay.
Because it's hard for me to, like, I can't watch women's racing. Like, I'm still kind of, mourning the loss of my skiing career.
Okay.
But, I still feel like there's so much that I have to give. I know so much about the sport, and I wanted to be able to express that knowledge and my personal style at the same time. And so when Head approached me about expanding to outerwear, it was like, I'm not sure if I want to do this, but I really want to do this. And of course, I've had a long-standing relationship with Head, but if I'm putting my name on something, it has to be special.
Yeah, sure.
And Rowan was kind of the guy that I saw he was going to lead the ship in the right direction, and I think is a great partner.
You've come out of an amazing ski career, obviously the world's greatest skier.
Thank you.
And how do you feel about going into something? I mean, obviously it's in the same industry, but it's a very different kind of role.
Yeah.
Does that put pressure on you in some ways to think, I need to achieve this, I need to be as successful as what I do next as what I have been in the past?
I mean, I think that's just my mentality in general, no matter what I'm doing. I always want to give the best, give 110%. I want to work as hard as I can. I want to be the best at what I do.
I know, with skiers, I'm thinking that's incredible. I mean, physically that is absolutely incredible, but would you do anything differently to enable your career to have gone on longer, but be willing to compromise some of the success that you had within that career? Would you have said to yourself 15 years ago, you know what, I want to ski I want to compete until I'm in my 40s, for example, or whatever, but actually I'll take some of those accolades away to do that? Or would you just not change anything?
No, I wouldn't change anything.
Okay.
Because, not just as a racer, but as a person, all the challenges that I've had, all of the crashes and surgeries, it all, made me into the person I am today. It showed me how to really work hard in more ways than one. It's one thing to be successful when you're healthy. It's another thing to continue to be successful after you've had a major injury, and to do it again and again and again took a lot of, personal, like, internal strength that I didn't know that I had. And so that's why I feel like life is so amazing, because I know what can happen when things are taken away from you.
During your career, you were really vocal about racing and competing against men.
Yeah.
And do you regret the fact that you didn't get the chance to do that?
Yeah, I do. I think maybe, even though I didn't get to race with them, maybe I should have just forerun or done something, But it just also was such a long process. Like, no one really took me seriously for so long. It was like 5 years before anyone really, paid attention to what I was actually saying, that I was serious. And, by the time I actually was heard, I was, so injured and so far from what I used to be as far as, my performance and physical ability, that, wasn't really possible anymore. You know, I don't know. It was frustrating to me because if I were to have had a chance, I think I would have done pretty well, and I think it would have been an amazing memory, and I think it would have been amazing for the sport and women in general. But
and you were in Kitzbühel yesterday. I mean, do you think that women should have the opportunity to be racing in some of those classic places where, I mean, there's some brilliant, amazing courses on the Women's World Cup downhill circuit as well.
Yeah.
But,
I mean,
you know,
Kitzbühel,
Wengen.
I mean, Kitzbühel and Wengen are like the two places that I've always wanted to ski. I've never wanted to race there. But I just wanted, you know, everyone's like, oh, it's so scary, it's so difficult, but it's also so amazing. You know, the atmosphere, the fans, the venue, it all creates this incredible history and excitement to ski racing that I don't think always people appreciate. And I'm like, you guys are so lucky. You know, yeah, it's gnarly and a lot of people get hurt, but the opportunity is incredible. It's like the Olympics, you know, it's an amazing opportunity, and it's a privilege, I think.
So what was your favorite downhill track that you've ever raced?
I mean, Lake Louise and Cortina were always my top. You know, Lake Louise, obviously, I've had so much success there, and Cortina is just so beautiful, and also, you know, just a really good track for me. I felt like Cortina is very high speed and very technical. It's kind of like the epitome of downhill. And I just wish we had more fans there, you know. I think now the Olympics are coming and the World Championships, I think there's going to be a lot more people coming, but those are my two favorites.
And just very quickly, like, we're from the UK, actually. I mean, you know, we
Yeah.
love our skiing.
Really, I couldn't tell with your accent.
But, you know, we produce Dave and down the line, you know, Alan Baxter, you know, some also
Alan
Emma
was really good.
Graham and Martin, you know, on the downhill side. But you also didn't come from the mountains yourself.
No.
I mean, you had to move to the mountains to make that work. Did that help your career in a way that you're competing against people that are from the mountains, but you thought, you know what, I can do better than them, and I'm not even from the mountains? Or did that not?
I never really looked at it like that. I mean, you know, growing up in Minnesota, you don't have any other option but to train. There's no free skiing, there's no powder.
Yeah.
You know, you have the rope tow and a 25-second slalom course, and that's all you got. And I loved it.
That's it. Yeah.
And so I have a passion for training, for you know, skiing, and not necessarily powder skiing. And so when I moved to the mountains, you know, I would sometimes be the only person on the course because everyone else was out powder skiing and I was out training. And so it just taught me a different work ethic and a different mindset. You know, I loved the course. That's what I was passionate about. And now I have to learn to be passionate about powder because it's a lot better on the body.
Oh, yeah. It's
a lot easier.
It's pretty nice too.
Yeah.
My last question is going to be really short. Where are you going skiing next? And can I come along too, please?
I think the next place I'm going skiing is Steamboat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
Yeah,
Right.
I haven't been to Steamboat since I was a kid, so looking forward to going back.
Maybe see you on the slopes and I'll wave at you.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks, Lindsey.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.